Khan.
Imran Khan.
पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम जी। आज हमारा एक पहला प्रोग्राम है कि जिसमें हम किसी नॉन पाकिस्तानी से बात करने जा रहे हैं और गुफ्तगू जो है वो ज़ाहिर है इमरान खान के गिर्द ही घूमेगी। दुनिया पाकिस्तान को इमरान खान के नाम से जानती है। बहुत से लोग जो हैं वो पाकिस्तान को इमरान खान की वजह से जानते हैं। इससे इस हकीकत से आप जैसे चाहें नज़रें चुराने की कोशिश कर लें, लेकिन आप नहीं चुरा सकेंगे। इनको आप लोगों ने अपनी स्पेसेस में, पीटीआई की ऑफिशियल स्पेसेस में भी अक्सर औक़ात देखा होगा। इनके आपने कुछ गाने भी सुने होंगे। ये सॉन्ग राइटर हैं, ये कंपोज़र हैं, ये ऑथर हैं और विदाउट एनी फर्दर डिले आई एम गोना ऐड हिम इनटू द स्ट्रीम। Mr. Turgay Evren is our guest today. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Turgay. How are you today?
Alaikum salam. I'm happy. I feel honored, to be with you.
Thank you for giving us some time and the opportunity. First of all, Mr. Turgay, let's talk about a little bit about you. Like, you are a composer, songwriter, author. You have written a lot of songs, composed a lot of songs. But then there are two songs that I specifically want to talk about. Song on Kashmir, which probably makes sense because whatever is happening in Indian occupied Kashmir. So you did, everyone wanted to, do their part in it. And then you did yours too. But why a song about Imran Khan?
Yeah, I mean, normally for Pakistani people, for Kashmiri people, they came to know me through my songs on Kashmir. And actually I have written, I think totally now it should be 6 songs in different languages about Kashmir. So Kashmir is my name, I am Kashmir. And recently, just a few days ago, maybe let's say about 8 or 9 days ago, a new song about Kashmir was released, The Jails of Kashmir. And when it comes to, Imran Khan, of course, after Imran Khan became the prime minister, I started following Imran Khan kind of more closely. And I believe that he was, doing really, some good things for Pakistan. And when he was ousted, from the power, that time I thought, it was unfair, and I felt there was a kind of external intervention, and then my conscience was together with Imran Khan, because I believe that, he did not deserve that, and there was not, an election process. And then, because I thought it was unfair, and I felt the will of Pakistani people was hijacked, and then I wanted to do something, and that's why I have written the song Absolutely Not. So it was, an expression Imran Khan has used, and maybe that expression, cost him his political life as well. So that's why, I just felt sympathy, and I was aware of Imran Khan's global impact, because I know that his impact was not only confined to Pakistan. In many countries, people were following him. And when you check Twitter, I think Imran Khan, after Erdoğan, he's the second, most global person, being followed by, almost 20 million people. And I know that his impact extends to even some countries like Malaysia or Indonesia, and the people were following him. Like Erdoğan, Imran Khan, these kind of leaders, they injected the feeling of self-confidence, into the Muslim society, into the Muslim Ummah. So the message of these people, you have got a great history, and you can do great things. You can achieve great things again. So you got that essence with you. Just you need to be aware of yourself. And I think that was really very important, for us, because like for many years, in Turkey, we thought like we are kind of secondary to the European people. So there is no way that we can be as successful as some westernized countries. But with Erdoğan, the things started changing. So Erdoğan said, you can do in the history. We've got a great history. There's so many, important names, political names, philosophers, scientists. So that's why, we woke up and we started producing technology. And in the same way, I believe that Imran Khan also cultivated that belief, that faith in young people. And I believe that, these also deserves some people, because like, unfortunately, in the world, there are some, kind of dominant countries, and they don't want, some Muslim nations to wake up. So they want us to keep slumbering so that they can keep exploiting, our resources. But like this kind of people like Erdoğan, Imran Khan, so, they bring a kind of awareness, consciousness, and, that's the most important thing.
Okay, now my question, like you have kind of compared the two leaders, leader of Turkey and Pakistan, and you said that politically, when his politics is over. So first, do you think that politics of Imran Khan is over as an outsider, like the person who does not live in Pakistan or has not a lot to do with Pakistani politics, but like what are the optics? Do you really think that his politics is over? That's one. Secondly, you talked about absolutely not, and that absolutely not was to the United States. We have seen in 2016 when the people of Turkey came out on the roads against the coup, they tried to overthrow the government of Tayyip Erdoğan. What is the major difference between the both regime change? Well, obviously, the number one difference is that the one in 2016 did not happen, but in Pakistan, it did. They were succeeded. So how do you see that this happened?
Yeah, I mean, I get this question quite often because, there are some similarities and differences, honestly. So what happened in 2016? So there was, a group, and that group was so-called, kind of religious community. But unfortunately, this group was, the common thing, this group was governed by some forces in the United States of America, because like there was a cleric, and that cleric, lives in the United States of America. So what happened? This group infiltrated into the army, and then they used army against the democratically elected, president, because that time, president narrowly escaped from an assassination attempt as well that night. And then, when the people heard about the military coup, because like in Turkey, we practically believe that, I think the era of military overtakings, like military coups, is finished. But suddenly that night, Turkish people felt, there is such a big danger, and there are some external powers, behind these military coups. So the people took to the streets, and like many people that night, sacrificed their life. So we had, a lot of like more than 200 shaheeds, and then Turkish people, they stood in front of the military tanks, and they challenged, some jets bombing, different places, because even the Turkish parliament was bombed, the presidential palace was bombed, and there were some other places, they were bombed, and so many people, unfortunately lost their lives. But then the people managed, to stop the coup, and the next day, Alhamdulillah, the coup was failed. But when you think about, Pakistan, in Pakistan, actually the situation was kind of more dangerous because the coup was a kind of veiled coup. So it was hidden because I mean suddenly some deputies changed. I think their party. So that's why when you checked the coup, I think it was a kind of postmodern coup because like the military like was not at that stage directly involved, but we know that there was I think a trust watch or something like that, but suddenly Imran Khan lost the majority. But in Pakistan it's not the first time we know like deputies, unfortunately MPs are bored, and sometimes there are some different things. But what happens both in Pakistan and in Turkey, unfortunately, there were some external powers. So it was not only, a kind of conventional military coup. Actually, in Turkey, whenever we got a military coup, I mean, we can say that it was orchestrated by a foreign power. So it didn't initially emerge from the army as well. So in Pakistan, well, I see, some global powers were not happy with Imran Khan's politics because he wanted to make like Pakistan more independent, but some countries thought this was against their own interest, and I believe that they also mobilized some other forces within Pakistan, and unfortunately, we see that in the short run, it looks like they reached their objective, but in the long run, what's going to happen? I believe that in the long run, the things are going to be different for Pakistan.
Now that's that's a great answer about that you do look positive about the future of Pakistan. Now, that if I ask you, what was the one thing that has inspired you the most about Imran Khan? Like while he was in the government, because you were introduced to him while he was in the government, not before. You didn't know Imran Khan before he came into power, or did you?
I mean, when he was the leader of the opposition, I just heard about Imran Khan, but I had some vague information, and most of some of this information was also, I can say, like managed by, some centers. And in Turkey, in the media, I can say Imran Khan also didn't have a very positive outlook as well. So that's why when he was the leader of the opposition, I knew very little, but I was a bit biased against him, honestly. So I thought like he's kind of very aggressive. So, but then he came to power, and when he became the PM, I was really very surprised because I saw that he was really very humble person, and especially when President Erdoğan visited, Pakistan. So in the parliament, Imran Khan really honored President Erdoğan, saying that like there is such a big love for Turkey and for President Erdoğan in Pakistan, and he said like if Erdoğan joins an election in Pakistan, he has no rival, so nobody would stand against Erdoğan. So, I mean, I was not expecting this kind of sentences from a popular political leader. And that time I said like, wow, Imran Khan is really such a, humble person. So I started following Imran Khan more closely. And then I started listening to his lectures, his speeches. And I saw that, when he talked about, the period of Medina in the Islamic history, and when he mentioned about justice, for the society, the importance of justice, I was really surprised, as a kind of political leader, because he had a lot of knowledge about Islamic topics as well, and he had a different way of interpreting, Islamic teachings. And I was really surprised because, like, we know President Erdoğan also refers to, some Islamic, precepts, some Islamic teachings, and in a very unique way. So that's why when I listen to Imran, I also learned some new things from him about some Islamic topics as well, and especially his struggle against Islamophobia. So trying to represent Islam in the best way, and struggling with the wrong perceptions imposed by the Western media. So that was also something very important for me.
Okay, so now that if I ask you because you have mentioned that when Tayyip Erdoğan was in Pakistan and he said that he would win the election and there will be no opposition. Actually, I agree with that part, by the way, when Imran Khan said it, because Erdoğan is very popular in Pakistan. Now, speaking of which, people of Pakistan really are in love with the people of Turkey. I mean, they really like the brotherhood and then whatever, the religion and probably a lot of the things that connect them. So is it the same way in Turkey? That the people in Turkey really have the same kind of feelings for the people of Pakistan?
Yeah, I mean, what I can say, Turkish people, like the overwhelming majority of Turkish people, have really a very big love for Pakistani brothers and sisters. For us, like sometimes we say, together with Azerbaijan, Pakistan, and Turkey, we are like three different states, but actually we are one nation. So because we are so similar to each other in many ways and culturally, and on the other hand, in the history, even before Pakistan was founded, when Pakistani Muslims were living in India, Turkey was occupied by Western powers. And that time we heard a lot of stories about Indian Muslims, and that time Pakistani Muslims were also part of Indian Muslims. Even like women, they sold their own bracelets and they sent money to Turkey so that we can continue our independence war, independence struggle, against colonizing forces, against like Western forces. And like in Turkey, everybody feels kind of grateful to Pakistani Muslims, knowing the history. They said that without the help of Muslims living that time in the South Indian continent, so it would be very difficult financially to survive against all these occupying forces. So that's why in Turkey, like I can say, the overwhelming majority of people, they think like Pakistanis are our brothers and sisters. And I myself, a few years ago, like I think when I say a few years ago, less than 2 years ago, I happened to visit Islamabad, and I never met such a big affection, such a big love in any other country. I was together with my wife, and my wife was also very impressed. And that time I saw that like in none of the countries that we have visited before, because I have visited like more than, I can say, 20 countries, but Pakistan for me was always different. And I got kind of the biggest love from Pakistani brothers and sisters. And I never felt like I was in a different countries. I really felt, I'm at home. And when I was, returning to Turkey, so I mean, we were both, my wife and I, we really felt kind of sad. We said, wow, they're so nice people and we are leaving them behind now.
My last two questions. The question is that that Imran Khan is in prison right now, and all these charges are political motivated, false charges. You guys, the people that who are not in Pakistan or does not have anything to do with Pakistani politics or outside of Pakistan, do you guys believe the same, that Imran Khan is going through whatever he's going through right now because of the stand that he took against the powers? The absolutely not, which you wrote the song about. And would he be able to come out of this mess?
Yeah, I mean, what I can say, yeah, it is it is a long way, and independence, every time freedom has a cost. And I believe, people are going to be able to overcome, this problem, because at the end of the day, sooner or later, the will of the people, the will, of the people is going to, is going to be supreme over other forces. So, I mean, in Turkey, for us, the struggle was long and it was not easy. So when Erdoğan was a mayor, I mean, he was put behind bars. I think maybe in Pakistan, few people know because they followed him, when he was the prime minister and president. But when he was the mayor of Istanbul, he couldn't complete his term. And after 3.5 years, he was put, behind the bars. He was put in jail just because, he recited a poem. And some people were not happy with the poem. And the poem had been written by a very famous poet, actually, in Turkey. But some people tried, to interpret that poem in a different way. And they used that against Erdoğan, and they put him in jail. And that time, the newspapers put the headline. So they said, like, Erdoğan cannot become even a kind of governor or president, even in a small village. So they said, like, Erdoğan's political life is finished. But after a few years, Erdoğan, joined politics again. And when he joined the first election, he was still banned from politics. And he showed another person as a candidate, but then his party got the majority in the parliament. So the establishment saw that there is no way to struggle against Erdoğan, and then they started changing their policy. So in Pakistan, the same thing. If the people, are really kind of patient, and if they persevere, in their ideology, because like Imran Khan gave up all the luxuries. If he wanted, he would get indulged in a beautiful life, back in the UK. But he left, his family, his children, and he came to Pakistan for a struggle, for a political struggle, and he believed in something. He believed in Pakistani nation. So that's why I believe that, Pakistani youth, Pakistani people are not going to leave Imran Khan alone. And I believe that in the future, Imran Khan is going to be back in power, because at the end of the day, I mean, Imran Khan says, we're not responsible for the result, but we are responsible for the efforts we are going to make. We are having a journey. We are in the path. So we're going to reach our objective or not, depends on the will of Almighty Allah. But at the end of the day, we are leaving a legacy. And that legacy is really very important. And that legacy, is going to haunt, the superpowers, the powers who hijacked, the will of the people. So that's why I believe that sooner or later, the right is going to get victorious over the might. I mean, today, we can see that, the people maybe are scared of, mighty people, but, at the end, we are Muslims, and we believe that the right, is going to have the upper hand.
Yes, inshallah. We actually also hope that the establishment in this country also come to realization that they cannot fight against the people, against their own people. Now, before I let you go, I hope that, when Imran Khan comes into power, I mean, that's going to happen very soon, inshallah, as a strong supporter and, believer. I do believe that Imran Khan is going to come into power. And by the way, I wasn't sure that you know this much about Imran Khan. This is more than I expected. So you do have a lot of, knowledge about like how his politics are, and then, what his beliefs are. And I'm truly impressed. Before I let you go, I wanna, I want you to, like the song "Absolutely Not." I'm sure that all of our listeners and whoever is watching us right now, they would like to hear some of it. That what you wrote about Imran Khan, and also promise us that you're gonna write another song for him once he comes back into power.
Yeah, I mean, for absolutely not. I'm the songwriter and composer of the song. So the song was sung by a Turkish brother, who was born and raised in Switzerland. So the good news that I'm going to give, I hope that soon there'll be another song about Pakistan. So we are working on that, and of course, when Imran Khan comes back to power, yeah, I would love to write another song dedicated to him, and I would love to meet with him when he's in the office, because the last time when I came to Pakistan, actually he was the PM, and I got the invitation from the president, Arif Alvi, Dr. Arif Alvi, but that time we had really a very tight schedule, and I was supposed to come back for work. So I hope that in the future I get the honor to come together with Imran Khan. And on the other hand, I can also tell you, it is really funny in a way, but in Turkey still many people think that Imran Khan is still the PM in Pakistan. So because like in Turkey, so many people have heard only the name of Imran Khan. And sometimes when I write something, I see, some Turkish people writing comments, and they say, "Oh, isn't Imran Khan the PM, in Pakistan? Isn't he in the office?" And when they hear the news, they get kind of surprised. So there's also, the degree of the love, shown towards Imran Khan in Turkey.
Okay, Mr. Turgay, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was such an honor and a treat to to hear a lot of things from you, and also again, I'm truly impressed by the information that you have about Pakistani politics and about Imran Khan. And thank you for all the work that you do for the people of Kashmir, for for the rest of the Muslim world, and also the songs that you've written for Imran Khan. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, my pleasure. So it was an honor for me, to be your guest. Yeah, wishing the Pakistan all the best. Why our prayers are together with Pakistan. So may Allah, protect Turkey and Pakistan.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. ये तो जी हमारा आज का प्रोग्राम. आई होप जो है आपको ये पसंद आएगा. थोड़ा सा ये इसमें ज़रा लाइव स्ट्रीम में थोड़ा सा इशू आ रहा था, तो इस वजह से आई वाज बिजी विद दिस एंड दैट. लेकिन एनीवेज जिस तरह के उन्होंने कहा अभी इमरान खान की बातें की, और मैं बड़ा हैरान हो रहा था कि इतनी ज़्यादा इन्फॉर्मेशन जो है इमरान खान के बारे में जो है इनको पता है, कि स्ट्रगल के बारे में, कि मतलब और इमरान खान किन मुश्किलात से गुजरा है, कहाँ कैसे यहाँ तक पहुँचा है, स्टेटस को के खिलाफ कैसे जंग लड़ा है, कैसे एक्सटर्नल पावर्स हैं, इस्लामोफोबिया के बारे में क्या काम किया है, मुसलमानों के हक में क्या आवाज़ उठाई है. मेरा नहीं ख्याल कि कोई भी एक ऐसा एस्पेक्ट है जिसको तुर्गे एवरन ने जो है वो कवर नहीं किया. और इनका वो क्योंकि मैंने जब इनके साथ प्रोग्राम व्हेन वी थॉट ऑफ डूइंग अ प्रोग्राम विद हिम, तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि ये सिर्फ एक गाना है जो इन्होंने गाया, ये हमारी स्पेसेस में आ जाते हैं और वगैरह वगैरह ये तमाम चीज़ें. लेकिन जिस तरह इन्होंने बताया कि जी वो आधे से ज़्यादा टर्की के लोग अभी भी ये समझते हैं कि इमरान खान पाकिस्तान का प्राइम मिनिस्टर है, तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि वो यही समझते रहें, और इससे पहले कि उनको पता चले कि वो नहीं है, उससे पहले ही हम इमरान खान को इलेक्ट करके दोबारा इस मुल्क का वज़ीर-ए-आज़म बना दें. आप तमाम लोगों का बहुत शुक्रिया. पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद.